welcome to the round 1 results video and the round 2 matchups video combined into one. Back with the...
You better leave that in.
No, I won't.
Leave it in.
No, I probably will. I might. Oh yeah, we're doing the round 1, round 2 show.
Round 1 results.
And we're basically just going to tell you what happened, and we're going to tell you what the matchups are going to be. So let's get right to it. First matchup, we have End of the Bloodline going up against Life is Not Meaningless. Final result, 12-1, End of the Bloodline.
Really interesting there. Kind of thought that End of the Bloodline might get the sweep on that, but one person voted for Life is Not Meaningless, and it wasn't Mitchell. We do know that for a fact. So I think it was you, Paul. Anyway.
Photophoria versus Red Band Trailer. Photophoria survives 11-2.
Nice blowout win there for Photophoria. Red Band Trailer was not viewed in theaters.
Auto Biopic crushed the competition with a 13-0 shellacking.
Super big win. First sweep of the tournament.
Yeah, tough matchup out there. First, I want to give all glory to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for the win out there today. When you got great teammates like Zach Ray and Down A behind you, it's easy to keep the train moving. I guess at the end of the day, if you come for the king, you best not miss. And in this case, procrastination missed. We'll see how far this train rides, but one thing's clear: this king is a Cinderella.
UG versus Multiverses. And in this universe, Multiverses went down 10-3.
Or thumbs up for UG.
Yeah.
Thumbs down for Multiverses, yeah.
Wet versus Obligation. Wet, 13-0.
Not sure if that was because Mitchell didn't button up his shirt or because Wet was just a better film.
Could be anything. There's a lot of factors to consider when choosing these films.
There are.
How to Find Food in the Wild by Aaron managed to squeak out a 9-4 win over its opponent Rex Moriendon.
Yeah, the classic Aaron versus Jacob matchup ended up yet again with Aaron coming out on top.
Meaningless Malgone Fever Dream with a 10-3 victory
over
Unsightly Zombies.
Unsightly Zombies
By Trevor.
I voted for Unsightly Zombies. I like that film. But I also like Meaningless Fever Dream.
Yes! It's good analysis there, thank you. Thrice the Dice with the...
Sorry, it's the big commercial.
The big commercial just came up on the screen. You're watching March Madness with it muted. Anyway, Thrice the Dice over Art is Life with an 8-5 victory.
Oh, I thought that could be a potential upset, but Thrice the Dice held strong.
Survive and advance. Bargain Batman, we're moving to the Candy Town region now. We're Bargain Batman versus Bullseye. No Bullseye here. It was a 13-0 Bargain Batman.
Yeah, Bullseye totally missed the mark.
Plumier versus Interconvoluted. Our first seeding upset. Interconvoluted with a 9-4 upset, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, I thought we did a pretty good job with these seedings. 9-8s were pretty close matchups, so could have been either way there.
You have Evil going up against Offsides, and perhaps a bit of a surprise to some, this was actually tied for the closest matchup of the first round, as Offsides put up a great battle, and in the end, Evil prevailed 7-6.
A lot closer than I thought that one would be. Happy to see my film Offsides do pretty well there. A little surprised that it did, but we'll take that result. So good showing in the tournament.
You have Perfect going up against Game Night, and it was 12-1 Perfect.
I gave you a Night of Pity vote because I knew it would get killed.
You got Pegs going up against Red Pilled Sabotage, and, well, Best efforts to sabotage the vote were in vain as Pegged prevailed 12-1.
I don't know who voted for red pill sabotage, but it wasn't me.
Science going up against Trapped, 10-3 Science.
Thank you, thank you. I am very honored that Science beat Trapped. Thank you for everyone who voted for me, who believed in me, and
I thought Trapped might do a little bit better there, but Science, as we talked about earlier, came on really strong. The news entering the festival, so thought Trapped might do a little bit better.
Mr. Numbers against Death by Friendship, and it was 11-2 in favor of Mr. Numbers.
Cool. Mr. Numbers putting up some numbers.
Chronicles of Light, Book 6, going up against Snap, 12-1. Chronicles of Light, Book 6.
Nice blowout win for Benson the Blue and Company there. 12-1 victory. Nice job, Tanner.
Moving on to the Cemetery region, we have the Rotten Roommate going against Now Back to the Show. In the closest 1 versus 16 matchup, the Rotten Roommate manages to prevail 11-2.
Aaron, I'm so sorry that there's 2 imbeciles out there that voted for Now Back to the Show over Rotten Roommate. Whoever did that, reveal yourself. Reveal yourselves.
Wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
The Beige versus Concerning Potatoes. Another seeding upset and another really close matchup that came down to the end. Concerning Potatoes managed to win 7-6.
Another close matchup. I was kind of hoping that Lepage would make it on. I really like that film. But good to see another close matchup there.
And not quite as close of a matchup going on with Sweaty Gaines versus the Mousetrap Killers. 13-0 in favor of Sweaty Gaines.
We got all the gains all the votes.
How Not to Find Food in the Wild, a Jacob McGlone classic, going up against a Day at the Park Josiah Red team. And How Not to Find Food in the Wild with an 11-2 win.
Yes, one of my favorite films in the field. Nice first round victory. Look out, everybody.
Tick Tick going up against Wet Bandits Pitch Meeting, 13-0 Tick Tick.
Tick Tick, pitch meeting got denied in the meeting room. So Wet Bandits trailer will not be moving on.
End of the Bloodline 2, No Balls, No Glory, going up against Betrayal, Convoluted Story of Love and Loss. In the end, End of the Bloodline 2 with an 8-5 escape.
May not have any balls, but they still got some glory there. Good first round victory for End of the Bloodline 2.
Sir Sam and American Unsightly, an interesting matchup in round 1. And Sir Sam 11-2.
Another one where I can't believe people voted for American Unsightly. I know it wasn't a 16 seed, but that's still an interesting one to me.
We have the Power of Friendship going against Procrastination 2, Make the Podcast Great Again. And this matchup was a tight one early on, but in the end, the last few votes went in the favor of Power of Friendship for an 8-5 escape.
Yeah, I really thought Procrastination 2 might be able to pull off the victory here. I know some people were a little peeved about the seeding of Power of Friendship, but I think we made a pretty good decision there. It was a lot closer vote than we expected.
Going on to the Amara region now, we have I'm a Monster going up against Life, and I don't know if this is too big a surprise, but I'm a Monster with a 13-0 win.
Life ended with death, as usual.
We have Photophobia going up against the Rotten Roommate. This was one of 3 matchups that was a 7-6 showdown, and in the end, Photophobia prevailed.
Well, it's the director here for everyone's favorite film, Photophobia, and I would be lying to you if I said that I wasn't expecting this outcome. This is what we prepared for. We've been working on this for years. So it's great to come away with a dub. Again, it's deserved, it's expected, but a dub nonetheless. So we're happy to be moving on to the next round.
Cool. That's Trevor's film, Photophobia,
It is.
and it won. Nice
I'm
job.
glad that
Good to
you
see another.
realized that.
Good to see another 7-6 vote there. Like the close matchups.
The Unstoppable Force going up against Chronicles of Light Book 4. And it was the Unstoppable Force with a 12-1 win.
Unstoppable Force holding true to its namesake. It looked unstoppable in round 1. Can it continue that in round 2? Who's its opponent going to be?
The Greatest Showdown going up against the M Squad. And there was no showdown here. It was 11-2 in favor of Messiah's film.
The Greatest Showdown. We're going to have a great showdown in the next round.
Why do you think the Greatest Showdown beat the M Squad today?
Well, I think for a long time, people have been wondering, how many mats it would take to defeat a billion lions. And clearly the answer is not the amount of mats that's in the M Squad. So I can say that Bon Burgundy and Kitty Catterton and the rest of the crew are already training for the next matchup. And we'll see how it goes in the next round.
My Girlfriend is a Scream going up against The Great Golden Dewey Heist, which is barely even a film. And 13-0. My Girlfriend is a Scream.
Yeah, Great Golden Dewey Heist. Thanks for coming out.
The Leviary going up against Chronicles of Light Book 5, and Mitchell's surprise sequel comes in with an 11-2 victory.
Yeah, good to see the sequel to Lepage coming out on top there. So I believe that was a pretty good victory. We'll see if it can make an upset in round 2.
Kill Happy against Rotten Doppel. Do I even need to announce it? Kill Happy wins 13-0.
Well, you did need to announce it because if you didn't, then nobody would really know who won.
That's pretty valid, I guess. they might have had an expectation.
You never know.
You never know. Forgotten Things going up against Middle Weird Solid Unkempt Espionage Action. And Forgotten Things, it moves forward with an 8-5 victory.
A really solid win there for Forgotten Things. The computer head coming out on top. One of the best villains in Party Room, actually, in that film, which I really enjoy. So it's good to see that one move on to the second round.
All right. Round 2 coming in hot. Here are the matchups. We have End of the Bloodline going up against Photophoria. We have Auto Biopic going up against UGG. We have Wet going up against How to Find Food in the Wild. We have Meaningless Moldova Fever Dream going up against Thrice the Dice. Sam, any thoughts here?
Yeah, I think we might actually see some seeding upsets here, whether that be the 5-4. Look out for the 8-1 matchup, too. Paul's Photophoria, really strong 8 seed there, could put into the bloodline at its end. Thrice the Dice Meaningless with Fever Dream, I think that could be a really close matchup as well. But I do expect there to be some seeding upsets here in that second round in the Lake region.
The Candytown Round 2 matchup is going to be Bargain Batman going up against Interconvoluted Shin. We have Evil going up against Perfect. We have Peg going up against Science. And there's Mr. Numbers facing Chronicles of Light, Book 6. Sam, what do you think?
I think this is interesting. I think Bargain Batman may be the strongest positioned number 1 overall seed. Or not number 1 overall, but you know what I mean. I think that has a pretty good matchup there with Interconvolution, but I expect it to move through. Perfect versus Evil, I think that could be another seeding upset, although I think Perfect wouldn't necessarily call that an upset if it came out on top. Science versus Peg's really interesting. Science, the newcomer to the tournament, the second most viewed film in all Party Room, could beat that great Peg film. And then Mr. Numbers Chronicles of Light 6, really interesting matchup to see there if Tanner can pull the upset over Paul.
Cemetery Region Round 2 matchups are the Rotten Roommate going up against Concerning Potatoes. Sweaty Gains against How Not to Find Food in the Wild. Tick Tick against End of the Bloodline 2, No Balls, No Glory. and Sir Sam faces up against Power of Friendship.
Really like this region as well. Another potential upset there with a 9 versus a 1. One of the 2 9 versus 1 matchups we have here left. One of the lowest seeds remaining with Concerned Potatoes. How Not to Find Food in the Wild and Sweaty Games is a really fun matchup. I think everybody will enjoy. Highly recommend just watching both of those films before you vote, because that'll just make the experience even more enjoyable. Tick Tick versus End of the Bloodline 2. Can End of the Bloodline be the only film series with both of its films move on to the next round? Then Sir Sam versus Power of Friendship. 2 very wholesome films. Will be really interesting to see which of those ends up coming out on top.
Lastly, we have the Amara region, where I'm a Monster will take on Photophobia. The Unstoppable Force faces up against the Greatest Showdown. My Girlfriend is a Screen against D. Leviry. And Kill Happy against Forgotten Things.
Now, let's see. I think this is a really strong region. I think those top seeds are really heavy. I'm a Monster, My Girlfriend is a Screen, Kill Happy, Unstoppable Force. It's going to be really hard to pull the upsets off any of those. However, I do look at that Unstoppable Force Greatest Showdown matchup. That's a fun one. That's another one I highly recommend watching before you make the vote. Kill Happy and Forgotten Things, that's a really good matchup there. Those are 2 somewhat, well, not really similar films, but both have a little bit of a horror aspect to them, I will say. So I really like that matchup as well. That could be a really fun one. But I almost expect all the top seeds to move on here, but I would be very happy to be surprised.
There you have it. You know what to do. Get out there and vote.
Vote for your favorite film, or whichever one you want to move forward. It doesn't have to be your favorite. You can vote for your least favorite film, or you can just vote for any film.